Is flash drive wear a significant issue? My netbook has a flash drive instead of a hard disk drive, and I'm using Ubuntu Netbook Remix with X3 as the file system. I've read some articles concerning flash drive wear, and the main concern seemed to be the amount of write cycles. Each cell can be written to only a limited amount of times. Wikipedia has numbers ranging from 1,000 to 100,000. You can only write data on a sector once, and after that the whole block needs to be erased to use again, and these blocks are ranging from 16 kilobits to 128 kilobits. These are said to add up so that normal file systems that aren't designed to take this into account end up wearing out the flash drive by moving small amounts of data. Now I don't doubt that the problem is theoretically very real. However, I know we tech people get easily carried away by interesting optimization problems, such as designing an alternative file system to combat flash wear. For example, it's great to do memory optimization, but if you end up saving 100 kilobits of memory when there's hundreds of MB available anyway, it's not fixing a real problem. What I end up getting from all this is that I shouldn't use normal file systems on flash drives because they quickly eat up the drive. But I'm not convinced. So the question is flash drive wear actually relevant in everyday, normal usage? Is my laptop, using X3, going to eat up my flash drive in few years? Or is all of this rather a theoretical problem that does reduce the usage time, but only by so little that it'll never happen in normal conditions? Or is transparent, hardware wear leveling already being used on netbook flash drives to fix the problem, so that an alternative file system wouldn't even do any good? Sources: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Generally speaking, flash drive wear and tear is always brought up, SSD and USB, however, I haven't seen it. I have personally found that cheap USB flash drives, for example, go faulty and simply do not get recognized well before you actually see wear and tear. Also, newer drives use technologies that randomize the locations of writes. I suppose, let's say you have a 100 GB drive and fill it up with 99.5 GBs, then you keep using 0.5 GB over and over again, you can reach the limit, but again, I use SSDs and USB sticks on a daily basis for very heavy use, over the past few years, and generally speaking, the drives die of general failures well before you see this as a problem. No experience with alternative file systems, however I personally wouldn't bother. Use a mature file system, and if it fails within a usable time, take it back under warranty. If in the UK, up to 6 years under the Sale of Goods Act, as you can say, was designed with a fault and not fit for the purpose of storing data. I am not a lawyer, but I took a laptop back 4 years after buying for a similar reason. Also, for Windows, just maybe worth a look in. I remember seeing a product from Diskkeeper that looks interesting, meant to optimize and extend the life of SSD disks, but I am wondering if it is needed and found several articles doubting it, only linked to one, and goes into detail about wear and tear. Also, I can no longer see the product on their website, so it must have either been scrapped or built into a different edition.
Installing Windows on a compact flash card showed this problem very obviously, killing the card within days under certain typical usage patterns. Linux is a little easier on them. SSD drives have wear leveling to extend this to years. If you fill the drive up 90% and then keep making writes, it will swap out the files which have remained unchanged in order to extend the flash's lifetime. Defragmenting does not help on a flash drive because the underlying data is not stored in the pattern that the OS sees. You need to use vendor-specific tools. Flash-specific file systems could extend a drive's lifetime further, but at the moment I think this is largely made irrelevant by the progress of drive technology. How many hard disk drives do you actually use that are older than 5 years? The other point is that when blocks fail, they fail on write, so you don't really need to worry about data corruption as with an old magnetic drive that is failing. So basically, as long as your drive has wear leveling, it is not really something you need to worry about.
Now that we have been evaluating all the technical aspects of the problem, let's have a more practical approach. Is flash drive wear a real problem? The answer is no, not if you have a reliable backup strategy. An SSD, like most other computer components, is ultimately bound to fail. The lifetime can be prolonged with a multitude of tweaks, reducing the number of write cycles. And when it fails, you may replace the SSD or more likely buy a new computer because your netbook is most certainly prehistoric by then. I do have 2 questions myself. You just got yourself a $300 worth mini computer. How long do you expect it to last? Why don't people worry as much about platter HDDs as they worry about the wear level of SSDs? FY, I still have my Wii 701 4 grams, great little road warrior, using it 5 days a week and it's still in top condition. Imagine, after almost 2 years of wear leveling. Portable computers with platter hard drives are no match for those with SSD when it comes to performance and robustness. Pat yourself on your shoulder for the great choice you made and get on with it.
SSD drives use flash based on the 100,000 write cycle technologies, not the 1000. We haven't had flash drives running that long in the real world, but really, except for perhaps the page file on a normal system, the drive isn't getting that many writes. And modern drives do some wear leveling, and automatically compensate for a few bad blocks. I give the following advice: if you are not doing something insane, a data logger that fills the drive 500 times per second, don't worry about it. Keep good backups, use the system, and in all likelihood you're going to replace it for faster/bigger parts long before you hit the flash write lifetime.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.